Okay, let's get started here. Elliot Wave Sage, like always, this is financial advice. Always do what's best for you. Just use this for your education and entertainment purposes only. So I posted a market update separate, so I won't go into that in the live stream. So we'll just jump to people's questions. I'll just say real quick though, the market's in a corrective phase. Obviously, there's a couple signs that tell us that the correction needs to continue, like silver and gold need, I believe, more downside. The VIX has broken out. I wouldn't be surprised to at least see that continue higher. At least one more swing. If we could take this high out, that could create, a real big panic in the volatility market, options market. So I would just be advised of the bigger picture. I know everyone loves to trade just like the way the trend has been going, but the trends shift, and what we saw here with this volatility spike was like a tremor, earthquake, letting us know that maybe a big tsunami is about to hit, right? Because this type of behavior isn't normal. We've never seen that kind of spike before in the VIX. Kind of essentially almost on no news, right? No news really. So just think about the bigger picture. The VIX, I think, is telling us something about the market structure, something about how people are hedged is completely offside, or how they're using these products that are short in the VIX. But I think for me, I wouldn't be surprised to see this continue into the 30s or 40s. And then, crypto, Bitcoin, they're under pressure, especially if the dollar index is going to go higher. We may not, if this is going to play out, we may see some crypto under pressure with some consolidation coming if this plays out. It's still kind of a wild card because bigger picture, the dollar index has really just been going sideways. But I still want to see this push into this area before we get a major decline, a historic crash in the dollar index. If you look, what's happened, this is just a big bear flag that will finish with probably an overthrow, and then create a whole new leg lower, similar to this leg. So what this tells me is there could be a big crisis, and the solution to it will be maybe more printing more money until we just inflate our way out of the problem. This is probably the day crypto, dreams of. Gold and silver bugs dream of this leg. 2030s, 2040s. So the future looks very inflationary, but we could be in this deflationary little bit here. Like I said, oil does look like it wants to go lower. That's usually the king of commodities, and that's a deflationary push. And then with interest rates rising on the long end, like I have here, that could be more about governmental debt crisis than inflation. Everyone, I think, assumes these higher rates is because of inflation. But what if we get deflationary collapse, but the rates continue higher? And that may be because of they don't think the government can pay back its debt anymore, and bondholders are getting out while the getting's good, and the rates go up. Sovereign debt crisis, and then we just decide to inflate our way out of it and pay it off, and then that's that. And perhaps these rates just continue to go higher for all we know. So I just kind of looking at the big picture, guys. Just seeing the big picture of what we have in front of us. But right now, we have a major cycles coming to an end at any moment. We definitely have the March 2020 cycle that looks finished or about to finish. And then the question is, will it continue to extend after a big correction down to 480 and the bubble continues? Or is the bubble over and the grand super cycle over and there's a catastrophe? I look at some of the stocks that needed more upside, and and we're actually getting that upside in the last 2 weeks. right? I thought, Tesla needed to break, up, and now Tesla did break up, like all of a sudden. And I thought Nvidia needs another high. What if in the next week Nvidia makes that fifth wave? Then that's done. So once all those signs come together, then maybe you could talk me into the grand super cycle maybe over, but I still think the call is a pullback and then extension for time being, crash later. But if we get more of these mega cap stocks to continue the pump like they are, then Palantir get into 100, that type of thing, then there's no more room for those stocks to go higher anymore, and they're at peaks, and then more than likely the market's topped with a historic top. So that's how I think of the market right now. I know people don't want to hear that, but that's just the way I think of it. It's the way I think of it. And again, the SPY. If you look at the SPY here, go back to August. This is where 511. This is all wave 5. It wouldn't take much to get us down here. Again, it would feel like a catastrophe, a crash, but that would be a reset, and then the 5 can continue to extend. We could just lose this a little bit. So we'll have to wait and see how this plays out. All right, let's just kind of go to the super chat real quick. AMC and GME, let's take a look at how they're doing. We really want to see another leg higher in GameStop, and that's important. Again, we're trusting the chart. Now this looks like 5 down with divergence. So this, you need to be more careful. So I think it's prudent to say that you're going to probably get a deeper pullback here in this 4th wave down because of that 5 wave push, this lower low. So I'd be looking now for the corrective move here, something like something like this now. That's what I'd be looking for now because of this 5th wave in this sideways consolidation. So with the buy here in this buy area, it makes sense if the market's pulling back, right? Why would this go up? It never, it could count, it could have went up. The chart was working out okay, but now there's too many 5 waves, and this is 5 waves from that peak. So we should go lower, and that would break this low more than likely, and that's why I have this playing out like that. Now, if we could keep this low and break down, then the other count I had is possible, but I don't think that's likely anymore. And then AMC, again, looking for another leg lower. This looks like it's up in 5. And down, let's take a look. Yeah, we're up in 5 here. One more swing higher is probably likely. And then it could see more downside. Something like this. Something like that. Another leg lower. And again, has to hold this low. You broke the lows, so it's bearish. So this is a short opportunity now. I don't like buying it. And then GME is still long opportunity for now. But good luck on those trades. Like I said, the market structure is breaking down. The short-term traders may get blown up because the long-term cycles are coming to life. They've been asleep for 15 years, 30 years, some maybe, God knows, 90 years. And they're coming awake. August told you something woke up out of hibernation to get the VIX to 60 in essentially 24 hours. The longer-term cycles are coming alive. They're coming alive in this market, and they're going to destroy the traders that are trading these 45-minute and 4-hour charts. You're going to get annihilated. So I would really highly encourage you to understand the bigger picture. Yes, if this 4-hour and 45-minute chart would play out like it does 90% of the time, this would happen. But if we are in a monthly cycle dominated by a bear market that just broke down, this will fail and it will be a catastrophe. This will just drop. The rug will be pulled, and then this will turn into like a bigger corrective move at 3. Right? 1, this would have like a connector here, 3, 3, and you'll just come back down. So you have to understand the bigger picture. So you could be aggressive buying longs on any of these stocks, buying longs, and get in and out. Like yesterday, Coinbase, buy. Got it up 10% in 3 hours, made thousands of dollars, take the profit, go to the side. Like that's the bear market. That's how you trade the bear markets, guys. You don't just hold. Because the bear market cycle, the weekly cycle is dominating the market now on the bearish side. But once that monthly cycle hits, you're looking at major selling pressure that we haven't seen in a long time. Long time. And all these bounces will fail. Everything will surprise lower. The market will be shocked lower every time, not higher anymore. But we're getting close. We're right, like I said, at the edge of the cliff looking down. So you got to be really careful short-term trade in this market right now. And be very careful with your entries, stops, money management. All that is key given the setup. Okay, just saying. It was fun, and I hope it continues. But we have to understand the bigger cycle. So this is how I would trade this chart right now. But keeping the larger cycle in mind, you got to be really defensive in how you trade this. If this is what happens, and then we already saw AMC is already shown it's going lower. So good luck with that. Got another question here, a super chat here from Les L. Hanif. Let's take a look at that for you. Hanif is a penny stock, it looks like, of some metals. We'll go to the weekly time frame. Again, essentially go to 0 under a lot of accumulation here. And we're breaking out after, again, decades of accumulation. And we're kind of seeing that in some of these industries and in sectors. So I think the best way to trade this is to say that's the low. And just kind of trade this chart and see where we end up. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We broke this high. Looks like we have a lot of divergence there at that peak. So another 5. We have 3, connector, 3, 3, 3. And then you come up in a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 again. Here's some divergence, capitulation. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So nice little impulse there, right? We come back for another 1, 2, right? And then you're here. But you see how you never took these peaks out? So it's another 1, 2. With a high. So this could be a pump, one that could pump. Let's see here. Again, we looked at Qbits, right? This is kind of the same analysis we applied to Qbits. No guarantee it will happen like in 24 hours like Qbits did. Sometimes we get lucky. So see, this already hit the reject area. So what that tells me is we have to be careful. Now we didn't take this peak out, so more than likely it's not corrective. That this dip will be supported here, and it looks like you have 3 down here, or 5A, some kind of A with a little more downside. 41.1 is the buy area. It seems like it will pump. This will pump when this is finished. Could this be, another Qbits? Maybe. Has a very similar look and feel to it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 4, 5. So it needs more downside, right? Like it doesn't look finished. Down to here. As long as you stay above that, you're good. So yeah, I think this is where we're heading with it. And then some kind of a breakout in the metals. And again, we're looking at, the metals here. So there you go. I don't know what kind of metal it is. Is it a gold miner? What is this, like a gold miner junior or something? Junior. Yeah, cool. Yeah, we know the miners are weak, right? But GDX is going to hit a buy area, and it could be in a massive opportunity and a 1-2-1-2 setup. This is what this is saying. Maybe this is where you want to be, because guys, fundamentally the miners are shit in the bed right now because costs are going up, their margins are going down. Yeah, the price of the metal went up, but inflation, commodities kill the miners. Inflation. Now, if we believe oil is going to go lower, and I believe that, the king of all commodities, that means we're in this little deflationary spiral coming. Again, regardless of what rates are going to do, I still think rates are going higher. But I do believe the oil, there's this deflationary like little thing about to come into the market. Maybe it's a recession or worse. Who knows why. But that will actually boost and accelerate the profit margin of the miners because the cost of their materials and energy will go down, but the price of the metal is substantially higher than what it used to be 12 or 24 months ago, and they'll be able to leverage that. And so they're going to get accelerating earnings growth in a deflationary environment as long as the metal price holds up. So if gold it can hold this 2400 level, 2500 level, and hell, go even higher in a deflationary dynamic, the miners is going to see profit growth accelerate. Thus, their stock market their stock and their earnings will go higher, and the fundamental investors will pile in euphoria, and they'll be like, I'm so smart. Well, you're hearing it here first, guys. Get ahead of that shit now. Get ahead of it before it's in the news. But all that shit will be in the news in 4 to 5 months when they start reporting and doing their 2025, 26 earnings forecast. That's what's going to happen as long as the metal prices hold up. If the metal prices can hold up and oil can go down, the miners are going to turn the corner. Their margins should go up. Their profit margin should accelerate, and it should make more money. They should. That's what should happen in the metals sector. So that's why I like the GDX a lot. And maybe this is one of these minor junior plays that's just going to go crazy high, because it's just like buying like a call on like a highly levered call on that thesis I just gave you, fundamental thesis. So that's a fundamental thesis there on the miners, but the technicals also line up with that thesis. So that's the idea behind the trade for 2025, early 25. That could be the place to be, but it's not evident to the marketplace yet. Now, if the metal prices collapse, that will negate that thesis, obviously. So we'll have to wait and see. But that's an interesting chart right here. Very interesting chart. We'll keep an eye on that one. We'll keep an eye on that one for sure. All right. Thanks for bringing that up. I don't know how you found that one, but that's a good one. That's a good one. All right, Qbit. Well, this one is Qbit. So it's a Not to be messed up with qubits. Qbit. Um, okay, so you see how it didn't get the fifth wave? So that's a good sign because that means it's corrective, right? It should be corrective, and we erase divergence. So that tells me the bubble it could continue higher. Actually, it could continue higher in C, and we knew it could continue to extend right beyond our imagination. I think when we said that we could go as high as our imagination can take it. So now there's a possible extension play. There's a possible extension play here. We have three, three. We'll get another three, or five. Sorry, we need five. Let's just look at this real quick. Yeah, so we have five here off this low. So that low has to hold. If it can hold, this pump can continue. As crazy as it sounds. Let's look at the bigger picture real quick. Yeah, it didn't. I'm not going to say that broke the cycle. I'm going to still say it's in the C leg. So I would just go with like it's a 1 2. You have to go with that. You have to go with that given the way this wave looks and how you came off of it, and you're in 3 again. So I would say as long as you're above 1332, there's a chance this pump continues. Then defying logic, with only 3 back here, and that looks like 5 up on that. Let's go to the 5. We're gonna have to go to a really short time frame. So you don't see that divergence there. So that is a warning sign that it could go up, but it could fail again. So perhaps you can get a double correction higher, and then get another leg lower in 2. So this is a tough area to trade, but I don't know if I would label this as an impulse though right now. So I won't label it, but I would just say it's in an area that it could continue higher to 22, 23 and fail, and then take another leg lower in 2, or it can be done and it could just go again, and maybe you could put your stop at 1621, right? It's pretty low risk, high reward, and play that. Try it. Maybe again the mania that continues, right? Maybe the mania continues, and you maybe then sell some at 2261, and then hold it, and maybe it can go even higher. What's its market cap? $2 billion. So I mean, I don't know if it could go too much higher than this, but who knows? I'm willing to bet a ton of people are short this right now, thinking they're so smart, right? They're so smart, and they got their asses blown up, right? On Qbits, the other one we had, because they shorted into it at $3. And there were people I know on the internet. One guy lost almost all his money shorting it. And that's what happens. You try to outsmart the market. You can't. You got to manage your risk better. So I bet a lot of people thought, oh, this bubble's over. I bet there are tons of people short. If you're short this, you better be really careful, guys. I'm just saying because of this, the way this wave looks. Now, if this was 5 down, then it's the bears are in control, and yeah, the bubble may be over. But now I'm much more careful, much more careful. And you look at this, and you're like, yeah, maybe it's a long play. Put your stop at this low here, and try your luck at the casino. You can at least get 24, 23, take half off, and let the rest ride. And see what happens. Because if you break this, then you should be heading, to $50. Should be heading to $50 if you break this. If you break this high. Another safer opportunity would be break this high, pulls back, a little dip, go long. Right? That's another way of doing it. Next symbol, Yep, no problem. Les L, EWZ. Brazil ETF, emerging markets. So I think the strong dollar hurts these guys, and the dollar has just been relentlessly higher. Um, I guess we have the buy area here at 18, I guess, and that probably times up nicely for when the dollar index should peak out or should have a bigger, much bigger relief rally. So I think it's under pressure until we get to this area, but it could be a really good long-term investment opportunity in this market, potentially, or at least for a bigger bounce. But it's in a three moment, right? This could be 3-4, the first three. Could be another 1-2 and get more separation. So it's obviously got more downside. It's playing out like we expect it to. And again, I don't know why TradingView moves all my graphs around. I don't know why it does that, but it sucks. I hate sometimes TradingView sucks, man. As convenient as it is here, try to. Because I doubt this thing did any splits or any reverse splits or anything like that. So here. So let's go back here. So we would need to get rid of this. Get rid of this. Yeah, we're trading on that leg. Get rid of that. So looking at the bigger picture, this is a connector here, and the final swing lower. Let's take a look. I mean, could it go as low as that? I'm going to draw the box down to here. It could go deeper into it, breaking this low, erasing divergence. Let's go to the monthly time frame. It could take this out. So, all right. So looking at that, looking at the bigger picture. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So again, I'm just trying to look at this bigger picture here. I would say that it definitely has more downside, right? We know that. We know the dollar should be strengthening. But what I'm saying is I don't know if I'd want to buy it at 18 here, especially if this low gets taken out and then that low gets taken out. So I think it's dangerous to buy it here. And maybe the better way to time the buy is to time it with the dollar index at a pivot. And then once the dollar index is there, then we know it's safe to go into this sector again. Until then, this should just continue lower. And again, I wouldn't be surprised if it's down in this area by the time it's all said and done. So I don't really recommend buying it in this area, but it is in its final push lower, its capitulation phase, which is also where most of the market is. Because again, if I just get rid of these drawings and look just again big picture at this chart, this is about to break down if it already hasn't. This pattern, there's a lot of energy stored in this pattern going all the way back to 2013. If we break lower, there'll be a big release down. Boom. Where's the support on this chart? There's really no support until 13. Not, maybe again $9-10. So this is a very worrisome chart, right? And we have, could it be like a 1-2, 1-2, 1-2? Unlikely. It's unlikely given what I just showed you, right? It's unlikely. It would take a major stick save in world markets with massive dollar weakness, and we don't see that anywhere on the horizon. So I would just, and then this looks like just 3 waves up right here. Now it doesn't look like 5 waves to me. Here, let's take a look. We do have a little bit of divergence here, but what it probably is a connector and a CBA, so some kind of ABC. So it's some kind of connector here. So again, I look at this and I don't like to buy it. And it looks like we're about to have a breakdown of this chart, of this consolidation. A, B, C, D, E. Let's see here. Sorry about A, B, C, D. Maybe we bounce a little bit and then E, but anyway, I'll just leave it at that. I'll go back and just label it so you have the label in here. You just have the labels. Let's see here. A, B, C. A, B, C, D, E. So we'll go with this. There. Something like that. That's what I'm thinking. As long as you're below that trend line, it's still in bear market phase. And it looks like to me we're about to break out. We probably already did. You see? Already broke down there. May do something like that. Something like that. So that's what I'm thinking. All right, good luck with that. Good luck with that trade or investment. Okay, Donald, let's go to your questions. UVIX. So UVIX, doing everything we expected to, right? I mean, nothing, no surprises, right? It collapsed, right? But I gave you guys the warning sign it was at resistance and 5 waves up. It would play out as this inverse head and shoulders, right? This left shoulder, the head, and look, it got rejected right here, and now we're pulling back to make the right shoulder. I do believe we'll come out of this pattern and explode out, shocking investors and traders. There is a dip buy here at 374. We may have already got there right there for a reload opportunity. Again, the VIX also could go a little lower still. So we just have to wait and see if we got that little dip buy, just kind of like we had here. It goes like little dip, shake out a little bit more of the weak hands in this. Then I do believe we'll get another leg higher. So when I look at this pattern, you have a W, an X, and then we'll have Y. So I do believe you'll have some. Right now you have the W, we're playing X, and we need Y, and we're looking for Y to tag the $640, $660 area and B. Now the UVIX chart shows that the indices could continue to extend in wave 5. The grand supercycle could push higher into 2025, eventually ending in an epic blow off top, the one that we all dream about with these small cap stocks. But it doesn't have to do that. We could break out of the bigger wedge that I mentioned, and then hit escape velocity, which would create a 1929 crash, shocking investors as much as this August move did, but even more shocking. Surprising, may not even be news. No, what if there's not even news, like almost it wasn't in August? They searched for news and found this Japanese carry thing, they came up with at the last minute. Whether that was it or not, who knows? But this is the most likely path here, and we'll have to wait and see where we go. Now, could B be done? If that's the case, the markets will go to new highs, and wave 5 will continue to top off for at least one more swing higher, and that's always possible. And if that happens, then we would break these lows. But that would be we'll have another candle, like we would drop to like next week down into the $2, $1 area. There would be an epic VIX collapse, but I just don't see that happening. And so what I see happening is this is what I see happening. The weekly cycle, look, I mean, this will play out, and then the weekly will come up here. And when that plays out, the monthly, you can't even see it, will probably be somewhere up here. So that the UVIX, I mean, is starting to get a bid when it used to never get a bid. Even though it's still under pressure, it's not in free fall, and I do believe this is telling us a potential, another leg lower should happen, but also there is a potential for a catastrophe in the market. Just like we knew it was telling us going into the Fed meeting to be careful, right? We knew, like if you watch my live stream, we forecasted the UVIX breakout exactly like I had here. I mean, I even drew it for you. You asked me, and I drew it, and it went up, and look, it did it. Isn't that something? Isn't that awesome when it works like that? But for all world investors, they were shocked by the word. They would have, if I drew that chart, they would have laughed their ass off at me for drawing that. But that's what happened. So I'm drawing another chart, and I'm drawing another chart that could tell you that it could hit escape velocity and break out, go into unthinkable levels that seem unimaginable. And I'm just saying, guys, you gotta be careful. So there it is. This is a chart. This is what I think the UVIX will do, and then it should push. Then there'll be a big decision in the world markets if the bubble is going to continue or not. Our stock market bubble may continue, and we party on, right? We party on, or it may be too much structural damage underneath, and the market just gives the bubbles over. All right, let me keep going. Tesla. So Tesla, we've already mentioned it peaked, right? And we're pulling back. I want to see it go down to that $300 area, and you can already see it wants this wave 3 lower. And we're looking for 340. Could get there in a straight line. Who knows? Looks like it nailed our short opportunity. Look at that. Just missed it by $1. But man, there you go. So Tesla is also telling you the market could have much more downside still to come with this lower low. And then if we break this low on Monday here. So get ready for that. Looking for at least 3 swings down. The next area that it could bounce potentially is 376, 360. But I believe this correction will take longer to play out. I don't think it's just going to go straight down and moon. I think it will take some time. You'll do something like an A, a B, and a C, something like that. That's what I think you're going to do over several months. That's what I think will happen. All right, CVX. Haven't been asked about that one in a while, or energy. People kind of don't get that too much. Again, short. This has been a battle for the short sellers. We've owned the energy market, guys, on my channel. We had a short here, played out. A short here, played out. Here was our short, played out. So we've essentially owned the energy market. And where do I think is it going? I do think this will play out down, probably back down to $85, $90, under 100, and then should find a major long-term investment opportunity for a secular bull market in energy that could go many, many years into the future. That's what I think will happen. But we have this deflationary situation that we're getting through, right? We got this deflationary thing, and then something very inflationary will take place to solve that deflationary problem. This is what I see happening. That's what the dollar index tells me, and that's what everything else is telling me. But right now we got a lot of this deflationary like sell-off that I believe is going to happen with oil and everything else. So this is what I see. Could it go up again? It might. Investors just for some reason don't want to give up hope on it, so they keep buying it. But I believe this was a gut, a punch to their gut. Energy investors. More than likely, you got 5, and you should bounce again, and then you'll have the big wipeout wave. That's what I'm thinking. The other option is it's more bearish than we can imagine, and it's this. Something like that. So we'll have to wait and see how it plays out. Coin L, let's look at that. So Coinbase did hit a buy area, and it's kind of out of sync with Bitcoin right now, which makes me a little bit concerned about Coinbase and everything else. Hit the buy area, and it did bounce. Could go to new highs in 3. But given the count in Bitcoin, we have to also keep an open mind that it doesn't do something like this. Take another swing lower, and we get like a real shallow connector wave. So I think you gotta understand like where we're going, or maybe Bitcoin will go sideways and the altcoins will move, and this will stay as a 2. So there's a lot of ideas on how this could trade, but right now it should be higher against 262. But once 262 breaks, then we have a new leg lower, and then I'd be looking for this this area to fill here in 180s. So that's how I look at Coinbase. So Coinbase bounced where you expected it. Now I need to let the market do its thing. So Coin L, again, does the same, basically follows the same chart. And let's take a look at it. Again, CoinL is in our buy area. Looking for C. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, A, B, C. Now, so this is a flat, but if I look, it looks like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So again, it looks good to me, but it could bounce and form a deeper connector, and B could come back down deeper. So you're just going to have to decide and do what's best for you. I think there's nothing wrong with trying to go long here, but I would manage your risk and understand that it could take another swing lower is possible. So you just have to understand that risk. But ultimately, I believe you'll have this other C leg. You'll have a C leg in the future, a Y leg coming in the future after you get through whatever this will end up being, right? Good luck. Devon Energy, let's take a look at where that is. So Devon Energy is making it to our buy area at 24 in kind of a crash, which again we forecasted and expected in energy, and we're just going to kind of stay on the sidelines and let this play out more. We're not interested in buying the dip or nibbling or anything like that. It's got to get lower, in my opinion, or show us more signs of a reversal. It's in a 3 of 3. It needs more and more downside. It's just kind of like stay away from it. There's really no support until you get to this area, 24. So I think that's the logical place where buyers will enter. Long-term investors that believe in this company will start to accumulate smart money, will buy it, and that's then again a nice historic bull market awaits investors in energy when this finishes its capitulation deflationary funk. Good luck on that. QTUM. All right, so that kept playing out like we expected. Let's have to relabel some things. All right, so that's our 3 of 3. Something like that. So as you see, we're running out of 4s and 5s, but that looks like 5 down. Again, so we could be off by a swing or two on our labeling. Let's go back. So we're still in this cycle. We're only correcting that. Yeah, so this labeling is correct. So I would just, let's go back. We see we have 5 down. Maybe it's a flat type correction. That's 3, 5. Yes, this is a flat. So we probably just off on the labeling just a little bit. So should see more upside, but as you can see, eventually you're running out of 4s and 5s based on my system, so you're getting close to the top. Getting close. So I think this is kind of where I would go with it for now. And then obviously this is a major area of support right here. So I'd expect to see some more upside. All right, good luck on that. All right, Joe, Novo and GE. Yeah, so Novo collapsed, right? And again, I think we called that out as the end of the grand super cycle to stay away from that. We'll have to go back and look at where we are with it. Yeah, see, so we already knew we were at the end of the grand super cycle on Novo. Usually you lose your whole wave 5. So it had a massive extended wave 5. So it had that. We got a little bit of a bounce here in the first bounce area, and then we got the next leg lower. So we're not looking to buy it until we get to $60. And that would be right at the wave 4 area, which is the perfect investment opportunity for long-term investors. So I would like the panic play out more. It's not done going down. I would not buy it here. I think we just had a real shallow connector. We did get a little bit of a bounce, but not much, and then we have another leg lower. This could have been the area, but it was risky because we never really finished out the whole wave 5 in the corrective sequence for the grand super cycle. So this makes sense that it had another leg lower. So this one you just want to stay on the sidelines until this $64 target is hit. Then I think it's a much more attractive, much more safer opportunity. And then GE, I haven't looked at GE recently. So GE was here. It's got this wave 5. It looks like we're in with a flat there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it looks like we're in this 4th wave. One more high. So this is one of those other stocks that shows we need more upside, right? So and this probably was also a buy on a Friday. And this hit the buy area today on Friday. So GE Aerospace shows that we need more upside, and then that should be it. One more high. That's what I'll be looking for. Okay. The next buy area was Friday. That was the buy area for GE. All right. XLM. Let's go to the cryptos. XLM. How's that one doing? All right, so we called this wave 3. We're in now. This could be another 1 2 1 2 setup. Yeah, I'll call it a 3. It looks like you've got 3 down with one cycle. So it's got more downside coming with that break lower. So looking at this chart, it's going to come back down because of this break of this low. That should have held. It didn't. So I'll be looking for more downside. This would be too deep for a wave 4 by that point. So you have to call it as another 1-2, 1-2 setup. Something like that. Bigger picture, there's always a chance of the more bearish scenario that this was a corrective wave, that you had 3, 3, and you go back down in 3, and you break this low. But given this wave here, I don't think that is likely. I think you will find support when this plays out more. So I think you have more downsides coming based on this chart. Now the connector could still jump around here in this cycle here, in this wave. Like you could get this type of move, but it more than likely would fail if that happens. All right, good luck on that. And then Trump coin. No one's asked me about that one. Interesting. All right, so Trump coin looks like only 3 up. Not a lot of chart data to do a good forecast. Obviously, this low has to hold. I don't see 5 up. So if anything, you're moving in 3 waves, which means you need 3 waves down. So here's your first wave, your connector. And to see it doesn't look like it looks like it will go lower before it goes higher. To me, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Let's look at this real quick. Yeah, that's your connector here. And you're about to make your final leg lower. So I think it's got one more leg lower, and then it could have a pump. One more leg lower. Hard to say where it will end up, but and I would ignore this. I would just say at some point this will end, and then you'll have another 3 swings higher that should take out this peak after whenever this Y ends. You could also just, as long as you're in this downtrend, is another way. Now if you break out of the downtrend, then you're still in this connector. It'll be an A, B, and you'll get a big pump up to C, maybe back up to $8, but that would fail again. Okay, good luck on that coin. All right, I'll win. Let me see your question. I'm glad I helped you out on investments and things like that. And that's why I've always started my channel. The whole point of my channel was to help people, because there's just so much bad information on the internet and people that don't really give good advice. AMAT and Home Depot, sure. I'll look at those. Whoops, wrong one here. AMAT, Applied Materials. That sector, like I said, we know we still got a lot more downside coming based on this connector. It looks like 5 down, 3 up, 1 2 1 2 1 2. Although yeah, I think the way to label this is tricky. It's tricky. Well, we'll just have to label it this way. Remember, Micron reported really bad earnings. Maybe it won't make it all the way down to 130 unless there's a big sell-off that will happen soon. But it's got more downside, I believe. It just broke the trend line, so I believe we'll go get capitulation. All these wicks will be taken out here on the daily, and the weekly cycle will break as well. Boom. So I think we're just about to enter the capitulation waterfall panic selling phase of this to get out the weekends before the next leg higher can begin. That's what we're looking for. 1 2 1 2. As long as we hold this, where is it? Where are we at? This level, we have to go to the monthly maybe. Yeah, hold this, which I believe we will. But as you can see, the monthly cycle may also break on that weekly cycle sell-off. And that's, again, the bigger cycle could rule the market. Last time the monthly cycle broke was in the financial crisis of '09. If the weekly cycle causes a big enough sell-off, it will break and we'll have the same calamity in this sector. Just saying, that's why I'm saying the higher cycles are about to take over the market, dominate. No matter your short-term trader, the higher cycles don't give a shit about short-term traders. They just care about the bear resetting the cycles to the beginning. That's what happens. The bear market is upon us. The weekly cycle, there's no margin for error, right? Once that we always get weekly cycle corrections. It's just there's so much bearish divergence in the market. We finally got to the point, the tipping point, where the next weekly cycle correction could create the domino effect to break the monthly cycle, which could also break quarterly cycles, and then that just creates the calamity, accelerating crisis. Okay. And then Home Depot. Home Depot is, let's take a look at what we're doing with Home Depot. Looks like we're finishing this fifth wave here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we should be pulling back in wave 2 down to 310. Here we have a 1, 2, 1, 2 setup. So this is very bullish for some reason. Not sure why the chart looks this way, but let's just go step back and see. Maybe we have it not labeled right on the grand super cycle. So perhaps this would be the right way to label it, so it syncs up with everything else. So I would say, based on my overall market forecast, I want to label it this way to be safe, which would drop this down to 239. So I think this is what I have to go with, and then we'll have to go with this. But anyway, as you can see, we did finish that fifth wave, and so that should mean the top is in Home Depot. Let's look at the higher degree cycles and see if where we are with it. So the weekly cycle, about to break down, but not there yet. And that would trigger the monthly break, as you can see, and that should create the drop down, the reset, which is what we had in '09. So I think this is probably the right way to label it. I didn't label it that way because the wave 3 cluster was so weak, but there could be another alternative labeling. It won't matter to you, but it could be a 1 2, and then this is labeled wrong and some kind of like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it could be like a 1, 2, 1, 2 setup, but the 2 still goes down here. It just means the future should be very bullish in Home Depot for some reason. That's what it says. In the future, this time frame, right? These years, these outer years. But right now, a lot of pain on the way. These years could be very bearish. The 2030s and 2040s, we may see acceleration to take out these peaks. So what this tells me is Home Depot, if we do get a big bear market, a big crash, this is probably one that you want to pick up as a long-term investor. Have it on your shopping list because this should see some considerable upside in whatever happens here. Maybe they're going to, again, print money and just give out money, free money to everyone to save the markets, and everyone can redo their houses again. Maybe, there'll be a calamity, a world war, and everything's blown up and we need to rebuild. I mean, God knows why, but this is telling me Home Depot is really good investment in the next, these outer years. But in this looks like it's got some hard times coming. This looks like some hard times are coming here. All right, good luck on that. All right, let's keep going. Jeremy, VVOS. These are tough because they're just kind of like go to zero charts. But if you look, again, off of this low, let's see here. We only have 3 and 3, so we're only moving in 3. So maybe you'll get another swing above this peak. And if you're lucky, but there's no guarantee. Yeah, more than likely you got more upside, and then that would be it. So maybe you could get another high into this area. And then see what happens. Okay. All right, Anonymous. Let's take a look. So Anonymous, yeah, and again, I love like all the disagreements in there, and I get that because usually when we turn into the bear market phase, I usually get a lot of negative comments in my chats, and then like it's so funny because I know people are losing a lot of money because that's the nature of the market, right? Because everyone's so bullish right now. So I know a lot of people out there listening to me have lost a lot of money in the last few days. And I get that. It sucks, right? It sucks. It's tough. But it's okay to buy the dip, right? I'm just a trader. I have both sides of the market played. Like yesterday, if people want to understand like my style, I bought the dip on, in the morning, and I gave a bunch of stocks on my Twitter what to buy. Those stocks, some of them were up big. And what did I do at the end of the day? I took all my profit out of the casino. I made a bunch of money. I bought the dip. Am I short still? Hell yeah. But I bought the dip. So you can be long and short. It's okay. And you can make a lot of money. So if the market wants to take another swing lower, which I think it will because of gold and silver, I'll make more money. And guess what? I'll buy the dip again. And we'll buy it and we'll ride it, and then we'll play it by ear. But we're always buying, we're always selling. We're never one side. We're never just all in on one side. You never, ever do that. And I never trade that way. And if people think that's what I do, then you're mistaken, because I always have positions on both sides of the market, and that's how I play that. And because there's always a bear setup, there's always a bull setup, there's always stocks that are bullish, stocks that are bearish, sectors that are bearish, sectors that are bullish, and you play both. And I was not in the indices since August, because the indices were too much of a risk, but I played the market in other instruments, like the quantum stock that went from $3 to $10 in 24 hours, and that made us 400%, 300%, depending on how you played it. And the indices, what did it do since July to, what, up 10%? So you see what I'm saying? We play the right setups. I had Symbiotic pumped, and we got that. Soundhound, gave Soundhound. We bought that at $6 and sold that at $20. So would I rather be in a stock like that or the indices and make 15%? And oh my God, I got out of the end. No, but the indices was over. We went into other things. So the indices is over. I'm not going to try to like play around in the indices when you had all these small caps ripe for picking. And now we have a stock like Tilray ready to roll in this cannabis sector. And ironically, I just read on Wall Street Bets they're trying to pump Tilray. There's guys out there trying to get momentum behind it. Ironically, when I posted Tilray. So my thing is, guys, we go both sides of the market, and we buy and we sell, and we play what we get. But we're never all in on one thing, and I never am. Never all in on one thing. You never can be, because then you miss out, right? But trust me, if you follow me, you'll know we haven't missed out. And if Tilray pumps 300-400%, there's another setup I gave you. And again, if you're missing these setups, guys, then you only one to blame is but you and your psychology as an investor or a trader. And maybe trading isn't for you if you keep missing these. But anyway, we're not perma bears or perma bulls. We just take both sides of the market as they come. I don't always buy the dip, and I don't recommend buying the dip in the indices right now. But I showed in this chat a lot of setups that you could buy. Coinbase, GE, right? But would I buy the indices? No. I wouldn't buy them right now. But eventually, GE won't be a buy anymore, right? Eventually, some of these plays won't be a buy anymore. So anyway, so this is where I think VVOS is going. So Anonymous, I'll go into yours. So MicroStrategy was another one. We've been on the sidelines, and I don't want to chase that. We're looking for more downside. We're looking for 242, and that should be Bitcoin 84,000. And if it's Bitcoin decides to make that peak in 5, then Bitcoin goes to 44,000. It's going down to 119. So this is a warning sign in crypto that perhaps Bitcoin does have another leg lower, and 2, Coinbase could be tricky where you get a bigger bounce, and that bounce will fail down to 180. So we have to keep an eye on that. But I still, MicroStrategy to me is sidelines for now, and this could be a 1-2, right? It could be a 1-2 in MicroStrategy right here. So good luck. Hut is in the C wave, and we have to just kind of look at it and see how it wants to play out. Looks like a 1-2. I'll put it there, but it looks like a 1-2, 1-2. So it's got more downside, right, which is expected. So more downside. More downside. I would say, you could see $20, $16 in here before it's all said and done. Riot is that's an easy one. That one we're looking for $9, but I wouldn't be surprised to see it hit $8.30. In C, it looks like a 1-2, 1-2, 3, 4. It's got more downside. Bit more bearish scenario could be a 1-2, 1-2, 3, 4, 5 for a 1-2, 3, 4, get a 5 and rally back and fail. So there's a lot of possibilities here, but either way, I like it lower before higher. And I'm on the sidelines. BCHG, real tricky chart. It did break this low, which is very dangerous. Like I said, it's a dangerous long position. Dip buy. I posted that here, went vertical, great gains here for day trading and got out. And now I want to wait because we did break this low and we're probably still in 2 here. So I'm very cautious about it. and we have to recognize that it really needs to hold 445, and it's it's very dangerous. The chart is kind of broken, and it's more hope that it's over. But my system would say it goes lower, down. It's going to go lower here, and then somewhere in this area, hopefully it finds support. And Bitcoin Cash also bounced where we did, but we may get a double correction in Bitcoin Cash like we would in Bitcoin. And if we do, then Bitcoin Cash will take another leg lower. So that's why I said you can't be too aggressive with everything in crypto. But this did go vertical, so I will put the 2 here. Now, if Bitcoin Cash can find a bottom here and get another leg out of this, then BCHG has bottomed. It won't. BCHG, that low will hold, and this will bust out in a 3 of 3 and go into the thousands of dollars. So we don't. But again, we don't know the likelihood of that happening. Seems like we would maybe go back up to 510. We could drop in like a 3 swing move. So crypto is very dangerous in terms of like where we are. So yeah, as long as this low holds at 389, it should continue higher against this 1-2. And like I said, worst case, you have this bigger picture where it's 3, and this is an ABC, and we actually come all the way back down to 200, which would probably be a Bitcoin meltdown scenario. But again, so this is a hard, if you're trading Bitcoin Cash, you have to have a hard stop here now at 388. You have to. Even if you break it and they run it up, that's a very important level that has to hold to keep the bull case alive. LTCN, let's see here. LTCN, again, looking for another dip down. Here we have a 1-2. Looks like we're still playing out this impulse. 1-2, 3-4. So I think it's more downside coming. Something like that. More downside. Then GSOL, again, has to hold this level or the chart is busted. 1760. It's got to hold this level. It's just fading, and it needs to hold it. And so I think it could bottom at any moment. GLXM, well, looking at our chart that I just gave of XLM, I would be very bearish on this on the short term, given that dip that XLM probably is about to go through. Again, off of this low, again, we had this buy here. We bought it here. Again, everyone's like, oh, there it is. Bought it here, ton of money. Now it's not as easy, right? It looks like to me you've got probably an impulse up here. 3, a 5, right? Some kind of wave 5 with some kind of bottom. So it looks like to me you have a 1-2, 1-2 setup coming. And then this is in wave 2. And I would expect more downside. This looks like a flat, so it could come back down to 28, 29. That's probably where it's headed. But you could time it with when XLM, the coin, hits the buy area I gave earlier. So I'd be looking for something like this, and then you could have a major breakout. If this can hold up, it has to hold this low, but we'll see how this plays out right there. So that'd be a good opportunity right there if it can get down there. All right, ETH. Yeah, I think ETH is going to be fine. It just needs the Bitcoin dominance to drop off a little bit. But for right now, again, I still have this at this 4th wave. But let's look at this bigger picture and see where we are with it. And maybe, again, I may be off by a swing here. Yeah, you're correct at the whole cycle. So I'm off by a swing. which is fine. Maybe it's a lead in diagonal and ABC out. So we're in a 1-2 just like the rest. So yeah, where's the wave 4? Probably right here. It could get to 29.44. Could make one more dip lower, but it may also already be at the bottom. It broke this high, so this is a good chart to me. This chart's good. Just you gotta have to be patient and let this play out a little bit. There. There. Something like that. So I would, there's a chance that's the bottom, like Coinbase. This tends to like track Coinbase a lot. Almost looks like the same chart in the short cycles here. So there you go. So I don't know. I think you can't say, I can't, maybe it double corrects with Bitcoin, but it may not. It may run up and then pull back, or who knows. But I think this is the chart I'm looking at. I think if this doesn't hold for some reason, the next area that it would could bounce at could be a lot lower. So 25. So that would be a pretty deep correction, which is why more than likely that's going to hold. All right. Good luck on that. All right. Next question. Okay, so this is breaking out. There's really no update to give. I've given the update on Twitter. It's in the buy area. The 4 hours broken out. The 4 hours broken out. The daily's broken out. See? So you have a breakout. The daily's breaking out. So there's nothing to update. It's like you buy it, right? You just close your eyes and buy it, and you put your stop loss probably at this low, at 342, and then you don't touch it for a while and see what happens. I mean, it's that simple, guys. And again, oh my God, he's so bearish. Elliott Wave says he's so bearish. Oh, he doesn't buy shit. He's just selling. I'm not selling. Look what I'm telling. I'm telling you, 371, $18 right here, $18. You hear what I'm saying? $18, $17. $3, $17. You get it? You get it? Everyone understand what I'm saying on my channel? All you guys that are negative right now, like, you understand. But I guarantee you, you won't buy this right now. Because you're scared. The market just start to sell off and you're scared. You won't buy it. But there you go. Oh my God, how can I be short? How can I be long the VIX? But buying, oh my God, he doesn't know what he's doing. Well, maybe I do know what I'm doing. I don't know why. Maybe they're going to legalize marijuana, right? Maybe Trump and Kennedy and all those guys and Musk, they're going to say, yeah, sure, let's make it legal now. I mean, maybe that's what this is saying is going to happen. I don't know. Who knows? I'm just saying, guys. The chart's the chart, but there's really, like I said, there's really no update in any of these cannabis stocks other than buy it. You buy it. There's really no update. That's the update. Buy it and hold. But define your risk. Don't put your whole stack in it, and know when to fold them, because I can be wrong. All right, UVIX. I've given this update before. UVIX is close to another buy, the reload. It's near a reload point. It may have already hit it. Maybe we'll get more downside. I think ultimately this is the area it reloads. Now, I mean, there is a chance it comes back to the trend line here at 340, but for the most part, this is the reload. I'm looking for another leg lower because the Japanese yen has not strengthened in any way. The oil has not dropped. We have not really seen the panic, and the technology sector really hasn't dropped either, big cap tech. So I believe when this takes place, those things will all happen. We'll have lower oil, higher yen, lower big cap tech, sell off. That's the end of the correction. And lower silver, lower gold, stronger dollar. That's what I think. That's why I think it has another leg higher. The UVIX has. That's why I don't think this is done here for the UVIX. Um, all right, next channel, Bitcoin. Let's go to Bitcoin here. Bitcoin topped out, and it's got three waves. It's an indecisive moment, and you have three waves. So the market is in the indecisive mode. From a my forecast standpoint, you can't really predict where it's going to go from here because no one is given any clue. So here's three waves. You have three up. It could take another leg higher to 103, but it also could be on the verge of its journey down to 84,000, which I think is its ultimate target. This would be faster than I would have expected. I would have wanted to see more sideways consolidation, but it's in this area of where its first leg is over. It's like a stalemate between buyers and sellers. No one's ready to make a move. But stocks like MicroStrategy tell me we probably have more downside in the sector, unless MicroStrategy trades outside of it. But then again, you look at other stocks like Coinbase, like Ethereum we just looked at, they show more upside. So it's like mixed messages. So it's not easy, and this is why market's kind of confused. And I would just say that there's probably better to be on the sidelines on Bitcoin right now. I wouldn't trade it and wait. I would wait for either get some more confirmation of direction here. This was the trade. This was the bounce area, and I gave the bounce area on my channel 93,000. We got that, but now it's time to get out and take your money because we could still be in bear mode, and then wait and see what happens. Do we break out higher, come out lower, which would raise our target, or is it already a connect or finished and we're just going to head lower? Don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But I personally think we will see this area tagged before the market stabilizes, and MicroStrategy will be in our buy area, Riot will be in our buy area, Mara will be in our buy. All those, everything will line up perfectly for us, and we'll go from there. That's what I believe will happen. But in this area, it could be a lot of choppiness. Could take a while. We don't know. It's the connector area. Bitcoin dominance. How is that looking? I think I did this update last time for someone, and we wanted to kind of be careful. We're looking for a drop. So now that we went up a little bit more, so it raises our target. So again, we're looking for Bitcoin dominance to drop, but then we should see a resurgence of Bitcoin dominance into this area. So yes, the short time frame, but we are in an uptrend in Bitcoin dominance into the next 4-year cycle based on this chart. And now again, people get angry when they hear that. But I'm like, guys, this is the chart. This is what I'm saying. Now I can't be wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. I could be wrong. So just never know. And then you hit this area, and then the real alt season takes place, which is that massive dollar weakness I was talking about. Get that dollar weakness, the big inflationary impulse here. All right. So anyway, so that's what I think. So I do think Bitcoin dominance should be falling. I would be surprised to see it rally from here into, but I can be wrong. I do think we'll drop a little bit here and then rally hard is what I'm thinking. All right. Good luck on that. Next is EOSE, and then I think I'll wrap it up after that. EOSE. Looks like we again another one we got right here. Looks like we got this breakout happening. Let's let's continue the labeling. We had this right here. Looks like another one. We'll probably call that a big extended fifth wave. Very interesting. We get this big extended fifth wave Uh, Actually, we're probably still in 5. I wonder if we're still in 5. No, we ended 5 here. And then we have 3 down and we're breaking out. So yeah, it's very bullish. One, two, three. So yeah, this is should continue higher. And I guess just use your imagination on how high it could go. Not sure why it's so bullish, but what is this? What sector is it? Yeah, I'm not sure what these guys do. Battery storage. Well, got to keep an eye on it. What's its market cap? Market cap is about 1 billion. Yeah, so it could go a little bit more. It could go more. Good luck on that. SoFi. Let's take a look at how that one's doing. We're in this B wave connector, looking for one more pump to finish it. It could be done there, but there's the 4. I wouldn't be surprised to see it go a little deeper back down to this area, but it's not really all clear yet. I wouldn't call it all clear yet. It's obviously 1456 is very important. If that doesn't hold, that's 1-2. Then I'd be looking for 1272. If it holds, then you start at leg C, the final pump before the catastrophe again, like we had earlier in its history here. This part. Well, part 2. Now, but I bet it will go deeper. It's just my thinking. Let's look at some of the higher stochastics, the higher time frames. So we did peak out. So we massive erasure divergence. So let's take a look here. Yeah, I mean, we didn't take that peak out. So yeah, so that's why I still think we have more upside coming in a massive connector. Something again, a lot of people love this company, and I just don't understand it. But the chart's the chart. Maybe that's the target, 1945, something like that. All right, good luck with it, trading it. All right, I think I got through everyone's comments. I'm going to wrap it up. I hope everyone enjoyed, kind of the live stream. And like I said, I think long term, we have a much different type of market in the future. But getting there, I think we have some kind of deflation with higher interest rates. Probably, my guess, sovereign debt crisis is what I'm thinking comes together, drives rates higher on the back end. Deflation on the short end because we have a recession, depression type thing with the economy slowing down. Doge committee may be accelerating that with cuts, and we'll see how this plays out. But I do believe it's the market's in dangerous times from the indice level, but there's always individual stocks that still want to pump here and there. We can play the bounces and things, but you're just gonna have to understand where you are in the market cycle, the bigger picture, and where you are in the bubble. And again, guys, I just leave you with this chart, and you can decide for yourself what you want to do with this information. And if you want to go all in on your stack right here, right? If I showed you this chart, if this was a penny stock, if this was any other instrument at any other time frame, would you be like, oh yeah, oh my God, I got to go all in with all my money right here? Well, that's what most investors have done and are doing right now in the world. Institutions, money managers, CNBC talking heads, they're 3% CAD. They're all in at probably the worst possible time. Only a few aren't, like Warren Buffett and a few others that have a lot of money on the sidelines. Again, smart money is probably getting out while the getting's good right here, and it's been dumping into this strength, but it can't only go vertical so much. It can't go backwards, so unfortunately you're living through the time period at the end of this, and you're going to have to live through the back end. You weren't you If you were lucky to be alive and investing in this area, you got the benefit from that, but that benefit is now over. It's coming to an end. And this chart is what I mean. You guys are sticking your heads in your sand if you don't believe if you are gone, if you have your whole nest egg in the indices right now, this is where you're buying it right here, right now. That's what the indices look like. Now, some stocks don't look like that. Sectors don't look like this, but the indices, the general indexes look like this. So they could be in a lot